Australians are casting their final votes today in a national election campaign to elect the 48th Parliament with 150 seats in the House of Representatives and 40 of the 76 Senate seats contested. Now, polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time across various time zones with over 7,000 polling stations nationwide. The incumbent Labour Party, led by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, is seeking a second term, holding 78 seats in the outgoing House. They face the Liberal National Coalition, led by Peter Dutton, with 54 seats, alongside minor parties like the Greens and Independents. Now, the polls suggest a tight race with Labour slightly ahead in her two-party preferred votes, but a hung parliament is the most likely outcome, is what predictions are saying. I'm being joined by Michael Fedler, former diplomat and political analyst, joining us from Melbourne. Thank you for joining us, sir. Now, Mr. Fedler, while predictions are indicating a hung house, what is that one poll promise or strategy which could perhaps push either party past the finish line?
Thank you. Good to be here. I think you're right. The prediction is that there will be a hung parliament, but essentially the incumbent Labor Party has two things on their side. One is that they're seen as more credible by younger Australians who are now for the first time Gen Z and millennials in the majority rather than baby boomers and older cohorts. The Labor Party is seen as more credible in terms of delivering lower house prices. And the second advantage that they have leading into today's election is the Trump effect. What we've seen in Canada last week and what we've seen elsewhere around the world is that countries are voting for the parties or the candidates perceived to be stronger on standing up to Donald Trump. And the opposition Liberal Party is seen as Trump light, so to speak, or perhaps less likely to stand up to trade pressure. The other advantage in that the Labor Party has is that they've been able to achieve smoother relations with China, which is our main trading partner in Australia. And for that, Australians are, like anyone in the world at the moment, anxious about the economy, anxious about trade, and anxious about the cost of living.
Right, and Mr. Fedler, like you mentioned, because there are a large amount of younger voters this time around, it seems energy is one of the major poll issues this time, and Albanese then has the stakes high for him.
Yes, energy is one area, along with petrol prices, where the opposition is in the lead, and they've been hammering home those messages. But energy and petrol are more of interest to older voters. Younger people who tend to rent, they may not drive cars. They go out a lot, they spend less time at home, they don't have families. They're less likely to notice higher energy costs, as are people who already have children and grandchildren.
Right, and before we let you go, what are the common dominant themes you're seeing this time around in this election?
So besides cost of living, house prices and Donald Trump, the other issue, of course, is climate change. It's an issue which you can divide based on demographics as well. Younger people tend to take it more seriously than older people, not exceptionally, but it's certainly something that advantages the coalition, the incumbent Labor Party.
Right, and the Indian-Australian community as well is quite large in the continent. So talking about their shared values and what they would vote for, take us through that as well, and what both parties are doing to appeal to that diaspora.
It's essentially the same issues. It's cost of living, it's home ownership, it's petrol prices, energy prices. They're the main issues. There's a little less focus this year on migration. Because Australia's economy has been relatively strong, we don't have the same anti-immigration narrative that you've seen play out in European and American elections recently. So that's not so much an issue now. But there's certainly a sense of community cohesion. Both parties have been trying to appeal to the Indian-Australian vote. It's a very large diaspora, particularly in Melbourne and Sydney. And in some seats, we could see some Indian parliamentarians win seats in this election.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Fedler, for joining us and taking us through your thoughts on this development.